So we'll go to the following question. Oh, so Alejandro Barragan wants to know, how would you describe Littlefinger and Varys' relationship?
My what?
How would you describe Littlefinger and Varys' relationship?
Adversarial. Both of them know a lot about the other one, including some very damaging things. So they're in essentially a stalemate. Because each one knows that if he revealed what he knew about the other one, then the other one would reciprocate and they could both be destroyed. So they're kind of locked in a certain stalemate. I think Littlefinger has a better idea of what Varys wants than Varys has an idea of what Littlefinger wants. Littlefinger is an agent of chaos who likes to be unpredictable and succeeds in that.
Okay, thank you. Which of your characters would you say is the most suitable to be a leader nowadays and why?
Which of my characters would be a leader in this day and age?
Yes.
Well, probably Tyrion. Tyrion is very smart. He's also very ruthless, sadly, which you meet. I didn't necessarily who would be a beloved leader, but he has the intellectual ability to do it. He has a certain understanding of politics, and he has a lot of experience in the dark side of humanity. So he wouldn't be too naive for the job. He might be a good choice.
I agree. Very good.
Now, Danny would also be an interesting choice if we could bring her dragons along. The recent American election might have turned out very different if Hillary Clinton had dragons.
Oh, I love this one as well. This was sent by Yvonne Medina Zaragoza, and she sends, what was the epiphany that dragged you to devoting your life to writing?
Excuse me?
What was the epiphany that dragged you to devoting your life to writing?
It was my inability to do anything else. When I was quite young, of course, I was a big comic book fan, and my goal in life at that time was to be Batman. First, I had to become a billionaire so I could be a billionaire playboy, and then I had to exercise a lot to get in really good shape so I could swing on bat ropes and punch people out while dressed as a bat. That didn't seem really feasible. And then I thought maybe I would be Green Lantern instead. So, because all I had to do was find a ring for that. It took a lot less exercise. And I looked around for a ring, but there was no rings to be found, and no radioactive spiders bit me. So I was just stuck with making up stories, which is something I've done since I was a little kid. And I was pretty good at making up stories, so I've continued to make up stories until this very day.
Okay. Okay. José Ascensión Acevedo Fletes. I have no royal lineage. Having cleared that up, what advice would you give me to ask Sansa out on a date?
Well, if you have no nobility, I don't think the Stark family would be too interested in you dating Sansa. All the marriages were kind of arranged back then. They were political alliances between great houses, and they had to bring some advantage. And Sansa didn't fool around with peasant boys, so that wasn't going to happen. Now, if you're talking about asking Sophie Turner out on a date, that's a whole other issue. She's a modern 21st century woman from Great Britain and a beautiful one. But she's in charge of her own social calendar, so I can't help you there, Guy.
Okay. Well, this was sent by Jorge Eduardo Lemos. If you could change anything in a Game of Thrones, what would that be?
If I could change anything,
Yes.
I would have all the books done by now. That would be good. I would like to change that. I don't know quite how I do that though, because I'm a slow writer, and as I get older, I seem to be getting slower, not faster. I am hoping, some of you who are familiar with my working career know that I did do a number of novels before Game of Thrones. Dying of the Light, Fever Dream, The Armageddon Rag. With each of those novels, there was a point where I could see the end in sight. It was like I had crested the top of the hill and now I was rushing toward the finish line. And whenever that happened, I sped up considerably. I'm hoping at some point that happens on A Song of Ice and Fire, that at some point, with with Winds of Winter and then Dream of Spring, that I will see the finish line, and suddenly the work will start going much faster, just as it did on those earlier books. But so far, it hasn't done it.
Yes.
Is there anything I would actually change about what is in the books themselves? I don't know. I think in retrospect, maybe I should have made Robb a viewpoint character in the early books. A lot of people kind of figured out that poor Robb was going to die just because he didn't have any chapters. And I don't like to be predictable. And that would have allowed me to do it. On the other hand, it would have made the books longer too. So I don't know. That's one that I played with from time to time. What in the world is going on out there?
The traffic, Mexican traffic.
That's just traffic. Okay. Someone has a
That's
hurry to
just
get
traffic.
somewhere. So if you had a dragon, you could clear that right up.
Yes.